Hey, this is Andy. I don't care. The other guy's Matt.
Yeah, what up?
We don't care about this. Who cares? You don't care. No one else cares about this.
No one cares.
Yeah.
Just got it here.
So yeah, our first episode was Fateful Findings, fan theories, and that was a lot of fun because Fateful Findings is a fun movie to watch. Double Down, on the other hand, it has its moments, but for the most part, it's a chore to watch.
Yep.
But there are like good moments. Don't get me wrong, but it's not refined in the sense that
Are there really good moments, Andy?
yeah. I mean, the tuna,
I mean, that's like the first 5 minutes of the movie, honestly.
some of the monologues, like there's actually like funny. It's actually funny how long the monologues go for because it's so insane. Like the first 15 minutes of the movie is just a monologue of Neil Breen talking about his character and his motivations.
Yeah.
And how good he is.
There are no motivations in the first 15 minutes. It's just like a random spike in the 40th minute of the movie. He introduces them, and then it's just farewell.
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
Okay, so we should note that there are going to be spoilers in this fan theory edition of Double Down.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call this. We're going to start us off with a breakdown of the character, Aaron Brand, Neil Breen's character. He's pretty much the only character in the movie.
Yeah.
Move on to the plot, and then just general movie discussion, and then we'll move into the theories.
Yeah.
So, Aaron Brand, Neil Breen's character. He's a fighter pilot with a lot of medals. He has the Purple Heart. He has pretty much every medal imaginable, even though it's gifted to people not in the Air Force. He believes that there's a link between two worlds, the ghost world, the real world. This will become evident through our theories and how we think this is a thing and why we think it's a thing. He is a master computer hacker and scientist. He's so powerful that everyone is scared of him, and so they killed his wife. He is the best Secret Service agent that the U.S. has ever had. He's a mercenary for what he believes in. He works for the U.S. now, of course, but he does have 7 major biological weapons set up in major cities of the world that he is ready to explode at any point, given that he dies, be it a rational death or otherwise. He has a brilliant car setup. You know, he has 5 laptops, 6 phones, and he drives around the desert, untraceable, of course.
Mm-hmm.
He often refers to his fiancée as his girlfriend. Just a little nitpick of the movie there. Just pretty inconsistent. He donates most of his money to children's support groups around the world because he thinks he does it the best. I don't... Oh my god, that's a Rich Evans reference that I wrote in my notes here. I had no idea I was even reading that just now. Yeah, well, he has bioelectrical medical implants to assist him like a RoboCop does.
Yeah.
Because he needs them in combat because he has no actual training and he just completely bypassed that part of his life. He just decided to become Deus Ex Monster Boy.
Yeah.
He murders white collar criminals who escape the law.
Yes.
He's a tuna master. You know, he eats tuna out of a can on the spot while driving most of the time.
Yeah.
Regardless of traffic and rules of the road. He does not abide because if he does die on the road, then, you know, say farewell to 7 major cities.
Yeah.
Let's see. He is an inventor of all secret systems around the world. You know, he's created everything through his master's degree in computer science. You know, he has never been surpassed by any secret service. I keep saying that service agent in any regard in terms of his security measures. Like, he developed all the technology for the NSA, how they monitor phone calls and such. He's very lonely and powerful. He creates and sells drugs from his car with a test tube lab kit that he pours and dumps out and tests randomly in his car. He just like pulls out like a velvet pouch and just sniffs the drugs and puts them back in. Kills fish for no reason. He doesn't really like fish. He's a big ass, and he's got multiple license plates for his car. You know what? That's it. That's Aaron Brand for you.
Yeah. Well, I'll add a few things to that real quick.
Sure.
He also carries the corpse of his girlfriend around.
You should not spoil this quite so soon, Andy boy.
How is what you just said not like?
So it's part of the fan theory that we're gonna go into here.
Okay, but like it's presumed that he does. That's what he thinks.
It's presumed
his perception
that he's insane.
Obviously, but like he perceives that he's carrying around the corpse of his girlfriend.
Yes.
Or like she's buried out in the desert. He visits her. Also, just one thing I was going to correct you on real quick too. I believe you said he works for the U.S. now.
No, he's a mercenary and he's hired by the U.S. currently.
I not sure that he is hired currently in the movie or during the Las Vegas. By the way, this is like the first kind of mercenary act we see him do, and the movie kind of revolves around this, I guess. See him shutting down Las Vegas. I don't think it's specified which country hired him to shut down Las Vegas for 2 weeks, but I don't think it's the U.S. I think that much is known.
Yeah, it's not, but he says that he currently works for the U.S. early on, I think.
Okay.
I'm not actually sure. I'm probably never going to go back to this movie to see if I'm actually correct.
Yeah,
so
yeah. The way he made it sound is like he's basically just this crazy person who will kill everyone, and he'll work for North Korea if they pay him enough.
Yeah.
But yet he still donates to charities, children charities. Like
it's insane that he just willingly sets up these huge biological warfare weapons around the world, and he has literally no regard for the life of his fiancée.
Yeah.
But when he dies himself, he's like, that's enough, you're gonna die. Like, he put no security measure in place of his wife. Like, he could have just put the stipulation that don't kill my wife, and I'll set this off too.
Yeah. Or like the invisible force field shit that kills anyone.
Yeah. The weird like satellite beam thing that disguises him and just vaporizes anyone that comes nearby.
Yeah, microwaves their brain.
Christ.
It makes no sense. And his character is so weird in the sense that like going with other Neil Breen movies, he wants to make his character this really great guy who ultimately like he does things for the greater good or for the common people. I don't know. He's for the people, I guess.
Yeah, he has a cosmic sense of justice where he thinks he is the only person that deserves to really distribute it.
Yeah. Like he's the most qualified to do it, and he's like almost like the chosen one, I guess. Like
he does have a god complex.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean just
Definitely.
from the beginning.
In every movie.
Yeah, I mean like the whole list of qualifications like first in class in college computer science classes, fighter pilot, 1 million medals, distinguished service.
I'm gonna destroy the world if I die.
Destroy the world if I die. He has the power to do that. But like, I mean, obviously that'd kill a bunch of kids, right? But also he wants to like help them by giving them by giving to their charities. Like whatever.
The idea that he places so much value on his own life is so insane to me.
Yeah, and like. This is like nitpicking, but does he even have like a backup plan if like he were like to get lost in the desert or like have a heart attack out there?
Or he just gets kidnapped for like 2 days and then the world explodes?
Yeah, or like he just passes out from being incontinent and being dehydrated.
Passes out from falling asleep in his car, which he lives in. He just forgot to leave it on.
He just keeps the windows up.
Yeah. Christ.
Yeah.
Can
you imagine how gross the tuna would be?
Honestly, people actually really like warm tuna, surprisingly.
It would be like 150 degrees though. Like in a tin can.
Oh yeah, like in the trunk of his car.
Yeah, in a tin can in like your car in the desert.
The thing that blows my mind is this guy is so prepared, so advanced, like he just knows exactly what to do, but at the end of the movie he's just almost out of tuna and he doesn't know what to eat. Like he's just going through his tuna searching for his magic rock.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much everything I have to say about his character.
Yeah.
Do you want to discuss the plot a little bit, Andy boy?
Yeah, I guess I hinted at a few things already.
Okay.
But I mean, for the life of me, I really can't recite the plot because I don't remember it at all.
Okay.
I remember the Las Vegas thing.
Yeah.
But, like, after that, like, I'm like trying to recall it, and my memory just slips into Fateful Findings.
Yeah, that's
It's like
that's
trying
kind
to,
of the issue.
Yeah, it's like trying to remember a traumatic experience, and instead I just think of positive things instead.
Yeah, you need to go see a psychiatrist to just bring out the bad memories.
Yeah, I basically need like what's the doctor's name in Hannibal? The like Chilton
Hannibal?
or something.
Dr. Chiltron,
Chiltron, something like that. Like,
Chilbone?
yeah, he like gets some of the repressed memories from Will.
Yeah.
I need like that kind of thing to remember this movie.
Honestly, it's really difficult to remember because it's so fever dream like.
It's fever dream like. There's a lot of filler, and
Yeah.
a lot of it bleeds into, or there's a lot of common elements with Fateful Findings.
Thing is, thematically, I don't know if there actually is a lot of filler because I'm under the impression that there was a lot of effort put into this movie.
By filler, I'm just talking about the stock footage alone.
Well, yeah.
Like, it's fine to use stock footage, like, if he wants to set up a shot or whatever. But,
I
like,
think he consulted with someone that said, like, you just can't have, like, a 2-hour movie of you jacking off in your car. Like, you just need some other footage in here to make it more interesting.
I don't know, because the stock footage is so weird and poorly done that I don't think there's any consulting.
Like a clip of astronauts in space just, like, pointing at the moon.
Yeah, like, in the first 10 minutes, there's probably, like, half of it's almost stock footage.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's astronauts in space, like a control center, some guy getting like eye surgery, like he's getting like laser eye surgery.
Really?
Yeah, it's like Neil Breen explaining like how he got like these like Deus Ex implants, and it's basically like just some guy getting eye surgery.
Yeah, okay.
And then like the most egregious one comes in like the first 10 minutes is literally like a 10-minute shot of the Hoover Dam. And like the whole time you're watching, you're like, this can't keep going on, can it? And it does. It's like a full like circle around the Hoover Dam in real time.
The thing is, by that point, I think I already lost consciousness, so
Yeah.
I couldn't actually tell you.
What's amazing too is like the movie actually slows. Like the first 10 to 15 minutes are just a Neil Breen monologue explaining all the shit that you just said.
He's describing his life and what his values are.
Yeah,
essentially,
and he repeats himself a lot of times too. It's like, I'm the best at what I do. They killed my fiance.
Shows off all those medals and the Purple Heart, which you get for, I think, like sacrificing yourself in a way to save someone's life. Is that not correct?
Yeah, I think so. It's like putting yourself in harm's way to save someone. I don't know.
Yeah. He's a narcissist to say the least.
Yeah.
To say he has a god complex is not too far fetched.
Oh, not at all.
Considering he's willing to kill millions of people to save his own life.
Yeah. So I guess more about the plot. I believe some more like U.S. agents of some sort, like FBI, whatever.
Yeah.
They reach out to him to complete some certain task. I think like to combat some other like mercenaries or terrorists. I don't even know.
Yeah. So the main plot is that he is being hired by some, I think it's a U.S. militant group that's trying to shut down the strip for 2 months in order to avoid a biological, chemical, it's some kind of plague that they're going to release on the city that's going to kill everyone. So his plan is to essentially release airborne anthrax to combat this other biological plague in order to wade off all the people, the population of Las Vegas for some reason. It's just completely contradictory to everything. Like his plan is to essentially scare everyone away before they are murdered. Like he releases a deadly threat upon the city before another deadly threat comes.
Yeah, it's basically. By the way, you said airborne anthrax. It's actually elbow-borne anthrax.
Oh my god! Yeah, well,
but yeah, it's basically like it's like it's like a horrible analogy. So I apologize right now, but it's like there's like a mass shooting going on. It's like he would show up and start throwing bombs at people just to get them out of the area before the shooter showed up.
Essentially,
yeah.
And the way the anthrax that he is planning to release, the stuff that he made in his car, by the way, is concocted or like distributed. He just hands it to some guy like over a car, and the guy just like drops it on the ground, gets it on the ground.
Yeah,
like no big deal. He just picks it up.
Yeah, like people would be more cautious and more upset by dropping like a bag of powdered sugar at the supermarket, which basically that's what it was anyway. I mean, really.
Yeah, probably. Anyways, I think that pretty much covers it for plot. There's everything that happens in this movie is not even plot related.
It's inconsequential to the plot. It's just the other Breenisms
essentially
that make a repeated appearance. So
the thing is, they're not even interesting Breenisms. They're just like things that are beyond the mind of an immortal human being.
Yeah.
They're things that you cannot even imagine like mattering within 1,000 different lives of your own.
It's basically the best proof that Neil Breen is not actually from this world.
Yeah, that's actually a different theory that we should mention. Maybe he's just an alien who just has such bizarre, ultra-dimensionary like conception of just how things work, and he understands things on a different level than we do. Like,
wait, are we talking about Neil Breen the person or Neil Breen like his
no,
character?
Just Neil Breen the person as like a filmmaker and director and writer. Like he's on a different plane than we are. He's on a different astral plane.
Yeah, I would agree. He's not of this world.
Oh my god,
he's not normal.
Well, I mean, he is pretty much Gene Simmons there, so
that is true.
Okay, so where do we even move on from here?
Yeah, the plot was just done and dusted. I mean, we can mention the inconsequential things. But really, I think that kind of segues into something else I want to get to.
Yeah, okay.
Just similarities with Fateful Findings.
Sure.
Because the inconsequential things, again, let me share things with Fateful Findings. So the first thing is probably the magic rock, I'd say.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But it's found a different way. He finds it off an old man in Double Down.
Yeah, he finds a dying Santa man in the desert.
Yeah.
A magic man who is scared for his life, but in the same breath, like, slips and falls and dies on a rock.
Yeah. It's just so weird, 'cause, like, there's no explanation to it, and also, even after he gets the rock, there's really nothing, like, it's
nothing that he does with it.
Doesn't he, like, he cure cancer? Some kid's cancer or something?
So, no, this goes in our theory section, but he touches the girl's head. It's implied that he cures her cancer. It's brought up casually at a dinner conversation that the girl has cancer, obviously. Like, it's no big deal.
Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, Katie.
Her 5-year-old daughter is just dying of cancer. No big deal.
Yeah.
Let's go back to eating her salad.
Yeah. Oh, did I tell you, Katie? Yeah, she got an A on our project yesterday. Oh, yeah, very nice. Yeah, she also got cancer, too. Pass the bread.
Yeah, and then he touches her head, and then he's like, how are you doing? He says something very, very just like completely, you wouldn't want your daughter being touched that way by a weirdo.
Yeah.
In the same regard. But later on in the movie, he gets a call from the parents saying she's not in remission. She's her cancer's getting worse.
Oh.
So it's brought up that he didn't actually cure it, but maybe he's actually delusional.
Interesting.
He's just doing something weird with his magic rock that's just completely insane.
What if it's like some kind of like Lovecraftian thing where instead of like discovering an old god, he like discovers this like remnant of some demonic, like otherworldly.
He's just using a demon stone to make things worse.
Yeah, but like it's making him insane too, where he thinks he's making things better.
What if he's actually just a demon?
What if he's
I mean, he's essentially a terrorist, right?
Yeah, he is. But he thinks he's doing good. I mean,
he thinks he's doing good, but in no way is it represented that he's doing anything beneficial to anyone, especially through the plot, which in the worst case, like, people stay in Vegas and they die to his anthrax.
Or like, what if like he kills people with his anthrax, doesn't scare anyone away, and then other terrorists kill more people? Like, wouldn't he just be aiding the terrorists all around?
Essentially, like, it's in no way brought up that he's aiding any of these groups in their efforts to actually get people out of Vegas. He just goes on some weird, like, mercenary missions. One is he's hired by this group. He goes to like a grocery store parking lot, and he's solicited by this group to go to this place and pick up a newlywed man and women from a what do you call them, like a church chapel.
Yeah, it's like one of those Las Vegas ones too, like the drive-in.
Like a
almost.
5 minute, yeah, like a drive-in one. You know, you have to get a fucking car. Like a McDonald's of wedding chapels. But he picks up one of two couples. He takes them out. He drugs them. And he's like, "We just got married. Oh, how you doing? Want to kiss me, sweet baby?" And then he gets a call saying he took the wrong couple. And then the other couple was revealed to be the ones that he wanted to pick up, but he fucked up because he's an idiot. You know,
Yeah.
God complex retard here. He finds them, and they had committed a ritual suicide because they didn't want to be captured by this terrorist group. Supposedly,
Yeah.
they somehow like nebulously knew that they were going to be kidnapped, and they were just going to die after their wedding.
Yeah, they knew.
They drove to the middle of the desert and just killed themselves on a rock.
Yeah, they knew he was on their trail.
Yeah, by the way, he steals a stranger's car. He pays the valet $200 to take their car from them. Yeah, and he hires a whore to distract a man with a fake mustache, and he tranks him and brings him to the authorities for some reason. It's like literally not revealed why he does this.
Yeah.
They don't know. Like, he brings them to the authorities, and he like shows them the guy, and they're like, "What the fuck have you brought us?" And then he rips off the guy's fake mustache, and they're like, "Oh my god, that's the guy we want!"
Yeah, it's really. I really
Yeah.
can't believe he thought. I can't believe he seriously thought that was good. Like a good idea. Like it's so cartoony.
It's he's a scary man.
Yeah. I think that whole thing was just to have Neil Breen kind of do like a James Bond-esque thing.
Do you think he just wants to be like a
Valet driver?
name action movie, like a valet driver from Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
I think he does want to be the action star, and
Yeah.
he wants to like mix every little element of it. He wants to be like super suave, super sophisticated, tech savvy, and can do like the undercover shit.
Yeah, he does use a pistol.
He does use a pistol. He assassinates a few
Basically,
people.
James Bond.
Yeah, he does assassinate a few people.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
there are a few scenes where he just like parkouring around the desert, just reloading his gun for no reason, like checking the ammo, just seeing if he's shot randomly.
Yeah, he runs up and down a lot of rocks.
Yeah, it's never revealed like what he's looking for or why. And there are a couple scenes where he just like gets in the combat for seemingly no reason.
It's like off camera too.
Yeah, he shoots his gun like randomly into the desert, and just it cuts to people just dying, like blood flying on his face from presumably like a half a mile away.
I don't think it even shows people dying.
I think no, maybe it doesn't. Maybe you're right.
I think it's literally like you hear gunshots and like you just see him getting blood on his face. But I think also he hides laptops in the desert.
Yeah.
So that's why he's running around like a fucking desert mouse, like just
But
looking.
you think like someone who's so technologically advanced would know how to mask his location or like IP address or how is he even getting internet? He's using technology from like the 90s here.
Yeah, the movie was made in 2005, but he's using like a 98 Dell laptop that was like in a garbage bag in the desert. Like, how is that even running? Like, internet aside, like, how's that even operational?
Oh god. Yeah, you think the people could just like call his IP and find his location based on, or as ISP, sorry, and find his location based on that. But it's beside the point. He's a master genius of his craft, and he's a great man.
Well, here's another thing too, real quick. It's nitpicking, but it goes back to the this. I really can't get over because it's so. You think he would like try to avoid this at all costs, like this. He could avoid this. The whole like putting the 6 major cities, like having a bomb attached to each one.
Yeah.
Like, why couldn't it just be like he fools the governments to think, like the governments of the world to think that he actually has those bombs set up? Like, if he's such a fucking genius, like, why couldn't he just make it, like, give the illusion that there are those bombs?
It's just so bizarre to me why he would choose to go to the desert to do anything.
Because no one can find him.
But no one can find him anyways.
But no one can touch him, too. So, like, it doesn't really matter.
It's so inconsequential, like, as to whether he is found or not. It's so.
Well, he walks.
I mean, he could be like kidnapped and forced to gunpoint, but like, why?
Well, and he walks around Las Vegas too.
Well, he does, and he definitely didn't have license to shoot on the strip because he definitely didn't. He shot at like the Hilton Hotel down like at a different boulevard.
He shot it all through his hotel window.
Pretty much, he shot a lot of it through the car, which I'm pretty sure is illegal, anyways.
Like it was just him driving it too and shooting.
It's through the window. You can see the reflection through the window too. I think.
I picture him like just hiring a cab and he shoots from the back seat.
God. Okay, so
that's another thing.
in regards,
real quick too. Real quick.
Yeah.
You know the invisible force field thing that kills people who get too close?
Yeah. Liquefies their brains. Yeah.
Yeah. How is it that like I know there's probably like some special reason.
Yeah.
But how is it that like when he was walking through Las Vegas, people weren't just getting melted left, right, and center?
You think he left it up while he was going through Vegas?
Yes. Just like goes through the crowd and kills like 20 people like every 2 feet.
The thing that just blows my mind out, it's like he sets this thing to destroy people's brains if they come close. He sets like an invisibility cloak. He's basically Harry Potter of the desert at this point.
Yeah. And what if like someone found him sleeping with like, because like he'll fall asleep and like help me in blood on his car and he'll do like a bunch of weird shit and like interact with skeletons and the desert Santas and all that stuff. Like what if someone just came across him and was like genuinely worried about his well-being, like oh, is this guy like dead in the desert?
They walk near his car and he's just they are no longer alive. Like they're gone from existence.
Yeah, like some hikers walks up to him. It's like, is this guy okay? And it's melts his brain.
That's probably why Desert Santa fell and hit his head. Like he just probably had like his brain liquefied.
Yeah.
In the first phase, like.
I mean, it goes more with the whole delusions of his character. Like he thought he was the chosen one, but really he just stole a rock from a guy he just killed.
Oh god, he's like Neo.
Oh yeah, exactly. He sees himself as Neo.
He sees himself as Neo, but a lot more intelligent, a lot more diverse, a bigger action star, of course.
More sex appeal.
More sex appeal, you know, he's floating ass up with the babe of his life, his fiance, his girlfriend, his wife, whatever he calls her.
Yeah, balls between the buttocks.
Yeah, you can see his balls in this movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, just to conclude with the plot, the apparently like anti-terrorist group, I guess we'll call them, considering Neil Breen is a terrorist himself.
Yeah.
Is it fair to call them anti-terrorists even though they are terrorists? Like counter-terrorists?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll say counter-terrorists.
Maybe he actually is the bad guy in this movie.
Honestly,
have we considered that?
Yeah. I mean, if he's delusional and he's fucking shit up, then yeah, he's a bad guy for sure. Like if that is true, then yeah, he's a bad guy. I think he's the bad guy regardless.
Yeah, he's just a bad guy in general.
Yeah,
I assume. But anyways, the other group, the one that's going to release the other biological threat, you know, in addition to Neil Breen, Aaron Brand rather, they release an EMP that knocks out everything within 200 meters in the air silently, according to Breen. Which is, if you have any idea what metric is, 200 meters is a fifth of a kilometer, which is what, like 1/5 of 0.6 of a mile. So what is that, like 1.2 or 0.12 miles? So it's literally like nothing. And apparently like that's enough to keep everyone away from this area that he's going to go to and, you know, save the day. But they know Breen's going to come down. They get everyone out of the strip. And then there's a scene where the other group calls their buddies, and then there's just like a random train scene where they execute some guy in front of them, like next to a train. Point blank headshot. It's never explained like as to why it is, and that's pretty much the end of the plot as it is.
Yeah.
Like it's implied that Neil Breen saves the day, but it's never actually like explicitly mentioned that he did anything good.
Honestly, I can't even remember how the movie ends.
The thing is, I don't even think it does end. It's really abrupt and unsatisfying as to the conclusion.
Yeah, it's like trying to remember like the moments before you fall asleep.
Yeah.
Like, you know you were conscious for it, but you can't remember it no matter how hard you try.
Yeah. If you watched it, it would be as if it was playing through your sleep, and you could say like, oh yeah, I kind of vaguely remember listening to this, but I don't recall anything that happened.
Yeah. And even if you could remember it, you can't make any sense of it. Like that's
the
a struggle
with most of the movie.
Yeah.
This movie is essentially a fever dream that is put into like a cinema format.
Yeah, it really shows. Like, obviously, a lot of people like this movie in the sense like they find it really funny and
Yeah.
so bad it's good, whatever. But it really shows that like Neil Breen. It shows like it's Neil Breen's first film. Like, he refines his craft in Fateful Findings.
Was what is it called? We're Here Now. Is that his second movie?
I think so.
The thing is, I don't even know. I think Fateful Findings was his last one, right?
It was his latest one. Yeah, I think so.
So I don't know if Double Down was his first or the other one was.
I'm pretty sure Double Down came out in 2005. His next one came out in like 2008, and then Fateful Findings like 2010, I think. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Double Down came out in 2005, and I think it was his first one.
Okay. So that being said, Andy.
Yes.
Do you think this is a good movie by any means?
It's hard to say. I mean, again, actually, it's not hard to say. No, it's not good. No, it's not a good movie. Here's why. I said this earlier, right? There are a few good moments in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, there's some good, memorable, funny moments.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's so slow going, so much filler,
Yeah.
and it's so incoherent. And it seems kind of weird, like, complain about coherency in a Neil Breen movie or like a bad movie that's supposed to be funny, or that is funny as a result of being so bad. But you want some coherency just so like you can remember just so you can remember what happened, and just so you don't like sit there like in a stupor.
Yeah, just drooling.
Exactly. Yeah.
Staring at the TV.
Like Faithful Findings, you can follow it all the way through. Even like there's so many like what the fuck moments, or like
even though it's basically incoherent for the entirety of it, there's things to look at, girls with low cut tops with their nips basically pointing out like the air conditioning at full blast.
That's right. Well, here's the thing, because we struggle with this for Fateful Findings, is like trying to find out like what the actual plot is.
Yeah.
Because it's like there's so many layers, and like it's almost like these red herrings of like like is it about government secrets, or is it about, it's just all over the place. But there's kind of that fun. It's kind of fun to do that with Fateful Findings. This one, it's impossible.
It's actually painful to follow along with the plot because it's so just unintelligible. Well, it's not unintelligible, I wouldn't say, but some people argue that Neil Breen's films are just a complete disaster of a mess with literally no thought put into them. But I suppose we can talk about that factor after we discuss the theories.
We can do that. You want to go into the theories now, then?
Oh, yeah, we can.
Okay.
Sure. So, let me just say, I think this movie is by far worse than Fateful Findings, because it's largely just, there's no other way to watch this movie and actually like understand what's going on other than to think it's written by like some completely insane person. Like if you didn't know Neil Breen was a real estate agent or an architect in the past, you'd think he was an inmate of an insane asylum. Like, this is his dying wish to film this movie and like direct this movie, write this movie, whatever you wanted to say. He did it all.
Yeah, he did.
I'm pretty sure he filmed most of the scenes himself too. Like, he set up the camera, he just like drove into the desert and said fuck it.
Yeah, like attached a string to the camera and an armadillo
just to turn it.
Yeah.
Oh god, but it's for a first work for someone that has no experience in movie direction. I'd say it's actually a better product than film students' first product, without all the pretentious work or all the pretentious effects that go into that.
Honestly, I would agree, and I would go further and say it's probably a better movie than what, not like actual filmmakers, but like what most people, like anyone else in the same situation, I think he probably did a better job. Exactly. I think he did a better job than most people could do.
The thing is, I don't think it's pretentious because I think he believed in everything he was doing. I don't think there was any actual thought. Like, not thought, of course, because that would imply that he literally just like went in brain dead and had no plan for what was going on.
He pulled a creep.
Like, he just drove into the desert and literally wandered around the sun and set up camera.
I mean, is that really that unbelievable though?
It's really not too far off.
Yeah,
it's not too far of a stretch from what actually happened, I assume. But
I mean, it makes sense in terms of like why it's so goddamn incoherent and just It's not cogent in any sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, it's pretty clear that this is something that he's had in his mind for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? I'm a middle-aged man. I'm gonna shoot a Sasquatch movie in the woods one day.
You got it. Exactly.
Okay. But yeah, in attempts, in regards for like a first movie attempt, I think this is not the worst you could do. Like, not the most offensive thing that you can make.
Yeah.
In fact, like the first time I watched it, I was pretty much dying laughing. Like, I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But of course, I had no actual like previous knowledge of like what Neil Breen was, like what movies he'd put out at the time. I think it's worth noting that the first time we watched this was probably 4 months ago, something like that, right? Yeah. And since then, we've watched Fateful Findings, and the other movie he's made has been just completely unbearable to watch, as this one has.
Yeah. Well, and also, I think even that aside, I think Double Down does not fare well with repeated viewings.
Yeah, I agree, actually.
Yeah. Like Fateful Findings, there's like always something new you can find.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's so engaging that you can actually look for theories that may be implied or just not even implied, may actually be like that exist that you just didn't pick up on.
Yeah. And also, this is like just came to me, and I don't think it's that accurate, but there's something to it. I'll say that.
Okay.
The facial expressions alone in Fateful Findings elevate it, and in Double Down, you don't really get that too much.
Yeah. Do you think he had like a facial director for Fateful Findings?
I don't know, but like,
Oh,
just a lot of the close-ups, like of him on the couch talking to his wife, they're just expressions that like stick to me and still make me laugh. Like just thinking about them.
I love the dinner scene with the teenage girl.
Yes. Yeah. Like, I can still picture like the facial expressions of his friend as well at the dinner.
The guy?
Yeah.
I cannot remember the guy for the life of me.
God, like he basically was like Larry the Cable Guy.
I just remember him like completely Van Gogh'd by the car.
God, I don't know. Like, there's like pretty much like why watch Double Down? Like, it's something you should watch if you like Neil Breen's movies and like bad movies.
Or if you just
But
completely enjoy getting blazed beyond your mind,
That-
just
yeah,
smoke like a goddamn 12-foot joint and then sit down with Double Down. You have the time of your life.
it's fine to watch it. Like it's something you should see, I'd say, but
Not sober, I wouldn't say.
yeah, probably not sober. But
Yeah.
it's like, but if you had to choose one or the other, like go for Fateful Findings every time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just no contest.
Yeah, I think it might be. I think they're the same length. I was gonna say I think Fateful Findings is shorter, but I don't think that's true.
I think Double Down's a little shorter, actually.
Okay, that might be true.
I think Fateful Findings is an hour and a half.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. When I think back on Double Down and like when I was trying to rewatch it for this, honestly, it felt like 2.5 hours. And I didn't get through it all.
Double Down actually felt like 3.5 for me.
God, it feels like you're
'Cause
watching the whole goddamn Lord of the Rings trilogy in one sitting.
Essentially, but there's no fantasy. There's only just introspection from hell.
No, there is fantasy. It's Neil Breen's fantasy.
It's like you're downloading a demon to your computer and it's just possessing you. Like it's just like entering your eyes and your brain simultaneously. It's just
Yeah,
demons
you feel like
downloading into your brain.
Yeah, you feel like you're the little girl watching the TV with static and the poltergeist, and Neil
Pretty
Breen's
much.
possessing you.
Christ.
I don't know. Like, what else we have? We have other.
In terms of plot, nothing.
Well, we're moving on. We're talking about theories now.
Oh, are we?
Yeah,
I
think we like got
I actually did not make that jump anytime before this, but okay.
I'm pretty sure we did.
No, okay. So, the first theory. This is the interesting part of the video, by the way.
All right,
Should be noted.
43 minutes in, we're getting to it.
Yeah, we're 3 minutes in.
No, 43.
3 minutes, actually. So,
Okay, we'll cut the rest out. Yeah,
yeah, it's fine.
that's fine by me.
Aaron Breen is a wizard with magical powers, and his computer knowledge is actually an illusory guise. It's the likes of which that we mortals can only see and rationalize. So that means that we're essentially seeing like a modern day wizard projecting visions into our minds that he's doing something modern, but in reality he's just concocting like magical experiments in the world.
Yeah,
So the evidence that is implicit to this is the magical force fields that he sets up with the power to melt the brains of oncoming life forms. It also essentially explains the fever dream-esque scenarios and flashbacks to his childhood and the love tale and the weird monologue that surround them. I don't really know if he's explaining this, do we? Like there'll be these weird flashbacks to his childhood with this woman. She's blonde, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's blonde, and we get like a little brief glimpse of him and her prancing through the desert as I guess their younger selves.
Yes.
And then we'll get like flashes to him just like unveiling her corpse in the desert, or like she'll be running away in the desert, I think. Is that correct?
Yeah, and actually, oh my god, I think that one shot of White Rum kind of messed me up because I think we're talking about the similarities between Fateful Findings and Double Down.
Yeah.
And we got off track.
I mean, I don't really think we have much else to say, do we?
We have to really do this. Can we just end it here?
Oh my god, let's just do this.
All right. All right. Just real quick.
If you really want to do the similarities, we can do it afterwards.
All right. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, let's do it afterwards. But
Yeah.
in regards to his wizard theory, it also explains why evil magic is escaping and seeping through the cracks. Like, why it's so unbelievable that he's capable of these amazing like hacking feats, or just these weird things where he placed a bomb beneath like major cities and went undetected, and how no one can find them or stop them in any way.
Yeah.
It's essentially like, we're breaking the cracks in the vision that he's produced to us. Essentially, Santa's slip and slide in the desert with him usurping the throne to the old wizard, him taking the stone and becoming like a magical wizard is kind of like he's had the stone all along throughout the video, but it's a flashback to him doing that. So it's essentially like him taking over the old wizard's magic.
That would make a lot of sense.
It does.
Yeah. And I don't know if you mentioned this already, but there are plenty of examples really where Neil Breen's character, he's attempting to explain it in like what's happening in the sense that it's just technology, and he's really good at manipulating technology. He's very good at this stuff, but really a lot of it's
incoherent.
It's incoherent and really is just like magic, like the invisible force field thing. Like it's just magic.
You can't do that with science.
Yeah, but like
it's basically Harry Potter.
Yeah, like I think we're like left with only two options here. Like it's either it's a product of like his character really is magical, or Neil Breen is so out of touch with reality and technology, like Neil Breen the person, that he just thinks that's possible and like it's totally feasible.
I think that's actually pretty true.
Or it's both. I don't know.
Even though he is an architect or a real estate agent, which I assume both of which do a lot of work with computers, and I can't fathom the idea that he just like can't Google computer science.
I think it was probably before, like he was a real estate agent and architect before like the computers came around. Like he retired like 19.
Oh my god, do you think he's that old?
Oh yeah,
he's just like 100 years old now.
Oh yeah,
maybe he actually is a wizard.
I mean, maybe he actually like has a rock and has magical powers and all this shit.
Oh, maybe he actually just has brain cancer, and this is all just insane, just like mumbo jumbo that he's never even thought of. It's just like an image that's conjured in his mind. He just wrote stuff as it came along. He filmed it as he wrote. Like he went into the desert and he wrote a script that he wrote like on a weird brain cancer tumor run.
God, it's on peyote.
It's a lot of peyote.
Yeah.
Okay, but on the same note, later on he says, "I am your spirit." After burying him. What? Oh yeah, after burying Santa Man, he says that after burying Santa, implying that he actually like absorbed his soul, like he's become one with Santa Boy.
Yeah.
At the dinner table, he cures the daughter's brain cancer supposedly, but later on it's revealed that he's not, which implies that maybe like his wizard facade is not even real, or that his wizard powers failed him somehow.
What about this? If you don't mind me jumping in real quick.
Go ahead.
What if he says he's curing it, but actually he's being malicious. He's actually progressing it further.
Oh my god!
Because I mean, he says he donates to children's charities and stuff like that, but like he's showing a willingness to like blow up cities that it's gonna kill a lot of kids and kill a lot of people. I mean, it's
Yeah.
gonna kill a lot of people. So like,
And throughout the movie, his intentions are really kind of not really mentioned. Like he never admits to being a good guy or a bad guy, so it actually makes sense that maybe he's trying to like balance out the work he's done through his charity, like through. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but
or like maybe he's like lying to himself at that point, or
maybe he's actually just like an insane dark wizard who has no idea what he's doing with his magic and has no control over it, but he's just like killing people for the sake of it.
or maybe like he takes some sick pleasure from like prolonging their suffering by like helping them out in the short run.
Yeah, he delayed it for a little bit so he could watch her suffer later on after he's done with this menace, so he could just go back and eat dinner with them after she's like a drooling mess.
That's what I mean. Like he wants to give them false hope. Just
He wants to watch her like walk around the house lobotomized eventually.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like ultimately, you have to say more. Like, if your character is supposed to be good, you
Yeah.
have to say more than like, oh, he donates to children's charities.
Oh my god.
You have to do more than that. Sorry.
Essentially. Like, imagine how much money he's just given to charities, though.
I mean, he spends a lot of it on tuna, though.
Yeah, but holy Christ! Just imagine how much money he's given to charity, and like the fact that he could just cast like a wizardly spell in a city and just destroy it instantly.
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense for a wizard because he could just conjure up anything he wanted. But yeah, money is largely irrelevant. Maybe he's just trying to make himself seem better for the mercenary groups to hire him.
Yeah.
The vigilante groups, whatever they may be.
Yeah.
But essentially, it's all summarized later in the movie. At an hour and 5 minutes exactly, someone else says, he's too smart for us, magician. So essentially someone calls him a magician
Okay.
for doing his wizardly feats.
Yeah.
I actually don't remember what that's in reference to. But I think that was when he rips off the man's mustache and brings him to the authorities.
Okay.
And he cuts his palm in the desert later, draining his own blood. And he says, I won't need this anymore.
I don't remember this at all, but I don't doubt it. I don't doubt that this happened.
Essentially, like the government authorities are calling him a wizard, and then he just drains himself of blood and says, I don't need this. I'm moving on without this stuff. I don't need this junk.
Yeah, and like also like cutting your palm and like bloodletting and all that shit. Like
Yeah.
that's like strangely like kind
Erotic.
of what?
Erotic.
I mean, well, yeah, of course, but
Yeah.
I mean also it's kind of tied to like the cult, you know?
Yeah. Maybe he's actually a cult leader.
But he has no one following him though, right?
But he does, like the government and their lackeys, like these weird militant groups.
But yeah, I guess. But like he doesn't have like a compound or anything, or
His compound is his car.
God, he just turns his followers into tuna.
He's basically Ghost Rider.
I mean, he would make a good Ghost Rider. Let's be
I
honest
think
here.
he would actually, yeah. He just eats tuna on his motorcycle.
God, I don't even want to picture his head on fire though.
I think I do. Actually saw the special. We rented Ghost Rider 2 from Blockbuster when it was
God.
still around,
All right.
and there were special scenes of Nick Cage just covered in like green screen effect things. You know, like the light bulb suits that people wear.
Yeah.
He was wearing those, and or one of them, and he was riding around the motorcycle just laughing like a madman. And it was a scene where his face is just like transforming into a demon's face, and he's going completely apeshit.
So I've actually seen screenshots of that. It's like I actually heard too. Like it was totally unnecessary. Like
Yeah, it really was.
he wanted to do
didn't
it.
have to do that.
Yeah, he wanted to do that.
Like they could have done it without doing it on his face. Like they could have just animated it normally.
Yeah.
But I guess he is like insisted that he would be like part of the process.
Yeah, like it helped him be in character or something. I don't know.
I honestly don't know, but I could actually picture Neil Breen doing that.
Yeah.
It's just part of the, I don't know, it's insane.
Yeah. He's a dedicated method actor.
Okay. You have anything else to say about the wizard theory?
Nope.
Man?
That sounds good.
All right. Theory number 2. Neil Breen, Aaron Brand is insane. He sees himself many times in a desert. Many of the times we talked about as flashbacks to his past. The whole movie is entirely pretty much a fever dream of a madman with no actual idea of what he's doing. The death of his fiancée possibly drove him to the brink of insanity, which thereafter he had to rationalize her death by going insane, maybe compromising his own actions, maybe like thinking about what he'd done, and his brain suffered as a result, like insanity.
Or
he sees the
or alternatively,
yeah.
he was insane before she died, and his insanity led him to killing her. And like,
Okay, that is a separate theory that we have.
oh
here.
Shit! Okay, I'm sorry. I jumped the gun there.
Well, that's being spoiled. Holy shit!
I jumped the gun. I apologize.
Okay. Anyways, he sees "Help me" written in blood, scrawled just on the side of his car, seen by a lucid Breen sleeping in the sand. He sees ghosts of his parents, and he asks them if there's life after death, which it literally makes no sense in any scenario. So it has to be some kind of insanity, right?
Yeah.
They tell him that they're at peace, and they assure him that they're fine. And he desperately says he wants to join them in death, and he knows what death is, I think he says, which I don't really even know how to interpret.
Yeah.
And then he asked the family at dinner if they saw the ghosts of his parents at the lake when they had gone to the lake. This is right before they admitted the girl's brain cancer, by the way.
Okay.
So he's essentially asking his family if they saw the ghosts of his parents when he saw them.
God. Okay.
He continues this internal battle with his ghost, or his wife's ghost, as to whether he should bring her back with his magical powers, in which case we saw through the wizard theory that he didn't actually have any magical powers or strengths. He couldn't actually cure anything, or maybe he did have malicious intents and he just chose not to, or and he said he just chose to prolong it.
Yeah.
But in this case, maybe he's just insane and he thinks that he can do that. He's talking to a ghost, first of all. But he basically steals a rock from a dead desert Santa. That's fucking retarded in the first place.
And honestly, that might not even happen.
It might not even happen.
Yeah, I was gonna repeat that. Yeah. That might not even have happened. Because one, why is that guy out there?
Yeah,
it's like in the middle of nowhere.
And why did he think this rock in the first place would grant him like a magical strength to do things?
Yeah, exactly.
Where did he get the idea that it was a vessel for him to become like God, essentially?
Honestly, I would lean towards more that the Desert Santa is not even real, because I think if he is real, then we have two crazy people in the desert, because why did the Desert Santa cling onto that rock,
Yeah.
So I think literally he just envisioned all of this and just picked up a random rock and thought.
I think there is a rational explanation for Desert Santa, because he's like castaway in the desert basically with Wilson, the rock in this case.
Yeah.
And so that's like his best friend, and then Neil Breen basically just like murders him and takes his rock from him and thinks it's like a magic stone that's going to make him God.
Or what if the Desert Santa is just the personality of the rock projected by Neil Breen?
Oh my god. Yeah, I guess.
You know what I mean? If
it's basically becoming another. It's the vessel in which he perceives his own insanity, through which he perceives his own insanity.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, something like that. Here, it's kind of like what if Castaway just had Tom Hanks is talking to Wilson, right?
Yeah.
But when he first meets Wilson, it's literally it's just Carrot Top playing with a volleyball. And then Carrot Top dies, and the rest of the movie is just how it is, talking to the volleyball with a face painted on it.
Oh my god.
That's kind of what I'm picturing.
I really wish I'd seen that movie more recently, but okay. Yeah.
I mean, there's no Carrot Top, so let you know.
No, there is no Carrot Top.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a while.
But I remember where Tim Hanks, actually.
Oh, yes.
Is eating just several cans of tuna on the island.
Yeah.
Searching for his volleyball under them eventually.
Honestly, if you take any movie that has a protagonist who is grasping with reality, just having a disconnect with reality and just questioning their own sanity.
Yeah, how can you take anything that happens in the movie as face value if it's through the eyes of the protagonist?
Yeah. But also, any movie that you can think of that has the protagonist that is questioning their own sanity,
yeah,
have them say what Neil Breen is saying, or have them experience what Neil Breen is experiencing,
Essentially.
and you would be like, this totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's unbelievable. He's a crazy person.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things that point towards him being crazy.
Like the delusions of grandeur, like
Yeah.
that makes perfect sense too.
So there's more evidence that points towards him being insane.
Okay.
Speaking to his dead wife, he says, "I'm so confused at my double life. I've got so many questions. I'm so confused." But his fiance, I keep calling her his wife, but it's his fiance in reality.
I mean, they've known each other they've been dating for 30 years.
Yeah, what the fuck? Anyways, his fiance's ghost, rather, only tells him to do something extraordinary, which basically it's like the ramblings of a madman, like someone telling someone to do something worthwhile with their life to go down in history. It's like a plea to just killing people eventually.
Yeah.
Like, I was born to do something notable. I was born to be the next god. You hear a lot in serial killers kind of dialogues or monologues.
Yeah.
They're recorded after they're arrested.
Well, and he shows himself that he's not above mass murder. I mean, he's more than willing to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, exactly. There's one time I think in the movie where he sees himself as a child in a car as a passenger, he's like staring at himself and like looking into the car. He shouts at his child reflection, "I need help, I need help. What are you looking at?"
God.
To his child self, or no, to his reflection of himself while he's looking at the child. When the news is revealed that the daughter is not cured of her cancer, he shouts, "No, how could this be? I cured her! I cured her!" He's just like throwing tuna around the desert, and he just says, "Where are you? Come with me." And then he's like searching for his magical rock, implying that it's going to help him in the future for whatever reason. And then he essentially has a mental breakdown on the cliffside near the ending, where he's seeing ghosts and carrying his dead wife around, realizing she's not there, and then he starts destroying all of his computers and technology. And I think that's where the movie leaves off. I think that's where it concludes.
Yeah, real quick too, just in case you weren't going to mention this, but it just kind of came to me about the laptops and stuff.
Yeah.
It's customary in Neil Breen movies for the technology that he uses to never really be working or be on or functional.
Yeah.
So like that kind of adds to the crazy theory more, that he's just,
Yeah.
'cause, like, how are the computers functional? Well, maybe they aren't. He just thinks they are.
He's just wrenching on these weird magically powered satellite dishes to his computer that are literally attached to nothing.
Yeah.
Like he's getting a satellite TV to his laptop that's offline.
Yeah.
You know, he's a work of something.
And honestly, it makes sense too. Like if he's so crazy that he thinks these computers that aren't on, that actually he thinks they are on, and like he would take the next step to thinking that he's doing all these grand things with them, like he's controlling all these satellites and all this shit. Like he's controlling like the governments of the world. Like I think that's probably the most convincing of the two so far.
I'm glad that I remembered the ending of the movie through my last note there.
Okay.
Him destroying his technology, him realizing that his wife is actually dead, or like she's not there with him, and he's like moving on, kind of.
Okay.
Like he's having a mental relapse of a sort. But moving on to the next theory, it's an extension of his insanity theory, and it's that his wife is actually alive and he is responsible for her capture, or whatever may be going on with her in the desert. So this is it's implied through the "help me" written in the blood on his car. Maybe it's his wife's. He wakes up to his wife's message. She's trying to get her message out to the public, and she's possibly fastened to a nearby spot or drugged, because we've seen his syringes, we've seen his syringe pouch. We know what he can do with biological warfare. You know, he shouts, "Where are you?" after finding the blood on his car. It's not his own. He's clearly not bleeding from any orifice, any cut. The grave he goes to, he admits he doesn't know where she is, and he implies that she may have just gone missing, or it's all facade. I'm sure it's not worded this exact way, but it's evident through the way he says this. It goes in hand with insanity because it makes sense as to why there are flashbacks of him and his wife. Like he's keeping her as a souvenir of a sort, and just kind of like keeping her nearby. And he's thinking about the good times he's had with her, even though she doesn't want to be there. Like she's a prisoner. It's obvious that his character has a god complex, and it makes sense for him to exude his influence physically, as he often does. You know, like he's basically controlling the world through explosives, and he is. How do you say this? He's not. Yeah, he does not show any remorse towards killing like millions of people potentially.
Yeah.
He wakes up next to his car instead of on the back seat, you know, face down. It's not something a normal person would do, just sleep in the back seat, obviously.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of part of the insanity theory, actually. So it's not too crazy. Or not, what am I saying? Anyways, he always says he's so alone, but never lonely. Implying that his wife is nearby, but she's not really with him, so to speak. He is with his wife in the desert. She's often alive. And another kind of add-on to this theory is that his wife may be dead, but also nearby because he killed her, and he's kind of carrying around her body as his excess baggage, so to speak, and he's living with the remorse of actually killing her. And he just goes to visit her corpse occasionally, which often appears as just a pile of bones in a body bag. But that's that theory, Andy.
Yes. Real quick too, about the wife dying or him killing her.
Yeah.
I think there's another alternative too, where instead of her death leading to him going insane, it could be that he was insane already, and that his insanity led him to like re-envision like how she died. So like he kind of constructed this whole fantasy. You know what I mean?
Just reliving it.
Not reliving, but like he constructs this whole fantasy around it, and so like, oh, the government assassinated her. I'm this, you know, master spy and all this stuff.
Yeah,
like it's like this whole. It's a little part in this grand scheme of his fantasy.
So he's not really taking responsibility for her death. He's kind of taking her with him.
Well, let's say in this scenario or this theory, he has no responsibility for her death. Like let's say she's like died from like some kind of cancer or something.
Yeah.
But he was already unstable before that, and he just sees her death as this,
as like a government, some militant force killed him.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just to get back at him.
To get back at him, and maybe like it's easier for him to process it or something. And like,
I hadn't actually thought about that.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. Anything else to say about the wife death?
No, that's pretty much it. I think you can go a few other ways with it, but I think those are like the main.
Yeah.
Those are the main ones.
Yeah. He's crazy before or after, and he rationalized it differently, like based on evidence he can provide in multiple ways. Like you could spin several different theories based on this.
Yeah,
essentially.
and also like we can talk about like whether he is culpable or not for her death.
Whether he should have taken more responsibility for her life or not, those types of things.
Yeah.
And our last theory here is that Neil Breen is actually just a patient of heat stroke. He's just living in the desert. Just actually his brain's just completely in a fever dream state where he's wandering around. He's run out of tuna, which is his only source of water in the desert. You never see him drinking water at all.
Yes.
And he's basically just writhing around in the desert sun for a week before driving off. Like he just comes to a lucid state, and he finally gets in his car and drives back to Vegas. But his week is fueled by fever dreams of national security and his 5 laptops and 6 phones, anthrax, murder. And he just wants to save the country he loves so very much.
Yes.
Anyways, that's I think that's pretty much everything we had for Double Down.
Yeah. I mean,
a lot of those series were stretches,
but some not so much. I guess we could really quickly, I don't know if you want to do this or not, or it was the original plan. But I guess we can discuss like which one we find more convincing, or like what are the strengths or weaknesses of each one.
Okay. I mean, Okay, yeah, you can go first.
Yeah. Okay. So the insanity one has different variations of it.
Yeah.
I think I don't want to like have any quibbles about like the variations, but so I'm just gonna like refer to it like broadly,
Sure.
just the insanity theory.
He's insane.
Yeah, he's insane. I think that one is the most convincing one for me. But the magic one, I don't even think that one's even too far behind. I would put it behind it though, certainly.
The thing is, it's not too far fetched because I think Neil Breen himself is so far in touch, or how far of what the hell am I saying? It's presented in a way that he has no idea what he's doing.
His ignorance of technology transforms it into magic.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
It becomes so unrecognizable in the form that he presents it that it's just like something beyond our comprehension.
Well, here's the thing. I can't remember who exactly said it. I think it might have been Arthur C. Clarke. I might be totally wrong about that, but basically, like, you know, technology way beyond us would appear to be magic, right? Like,
Oh my god.
like if you were to like bring like a smartphone to someone in the 1400s, it looked like fucking magic, right?
Essentially.
So basically, what I'm saying is Neil Breen's basically like a peasant from the 1400s brought to the 21st century. And he's writing, and it's all magic to him. So like he presents it as magic, basically.
So he has literally no knowledge of what's going on, and he just
Yes.
acts as if it's magic, and he knows what's going on. Essentially,
He perceives it as magic, so he tells it as magic, or he writes it as
Yeah.
magic, I should say. I think that might be part of it.
yeah. Okay.
But honestly, and the magic thing too is not too far fetched because Neil Breen has shown himself to be kind of he's kind of flirtatious with the supernatural stuff.
He loves his magic rocks.
He loves his magic rocks. He's into the
Yeah.
supernatural.
He loves his ghosts. He loves his magic rocks. He loves his skeletons.
Yeah.
He loves his weird flashbacks. You know, he loves curing cancer.
Yes.
What else does he love? He loves no bras on set.
Teleporting through walls.
Teleporting through walls. He loves that.
Yeah.
To have very odd sexual relations with people. You know, multiple affairs at a time.
Possibly
you know,
possibly
it's-
ghost sex too. I don't know.
Possibly ghost sex. You know, maybe he ejaculates ectoplasm into someone. Who knows?
God,
Maybe someone on set can share some secrets.
this is your invite.
But this is your invite, yeah. In case you are that girl from Fateful Findings, the like the teenage girl, you can reach out to us here on YouTube.
That's correct.
But
You can contact Blake. You can contact us through Mike.
yeah, you can contact us through Mike. Mike is our PR agent. Christ, show actual footage of Mike here.
God.
Okay, F for Mike. Anyways, so do you want to talk about these? Oh, I didn't actually say which one I thought was better. I think I like the theory of him being a wizard of the most, but it's not too far fetched either.
Yes.
But him being insane, or like his mindset being a product of just heat stroke, just makes way more sense to me. Like, I guess they're all variations of the insanity plea. Like,
There's something wrong with him mentally.
he's not in the right state mentally to be, you know, nothing he's doing should be taken seriously because the plot is just legitimately nothingness.
It's
like,
it's all in
there's-
his head. It's like nothing actually corresponds to reality. It's all in his head.
The fact that he's going to combat a biological warfare weapon with another biological warfare weapon is just in and of itself insane.
Yes. And I didn't mention this too. I should comment on the heat stroke theory, which I mean kind of is a variation of the insanity one.
Yeah.
I like it too, just because of how simple it is, and honestly, it makes a lot of sense. Like again,
The thing is,
these aren't far fetched.
How did he recover from the heat stroke in the end?
You just squeeze the tuna can.
He just found a tuna can.
God.
It actually had tuna in it.
It's just
That's why he was going through his tuna pile. He was looking for one last can.
they're all empty. And he's like, "Damn it!
Get him back to the strip.
Just want to find one full can."
Okay. Yeah, heat stroke theory is probably my favorite then.
They're all good, and they're all plausible.
They're okay.
Yeah.
There's so much more room for theory and Fateful Findings than this.
Yeah, definitely. Well, again, like, I think because Fateful Findings, again, we said this before, it's more coherent, that
Yeah.
it's not as open to like the insanity interpretation as much. Like it can be interpreted as that. But like really double down. It's like insanity or magic. Like like it's not doesn't leave you a whole lot. A lot of wiggle room.
Something that the typical person cannot comprehend.
Yeah.
And I think we're on that same level that we just didn't understand what we were seeing, so we called it either crazy or magic. We're on the same level as a 14th century peon, for example. Like
exactly. Like
if you showed this movie to someone in the 14th century, they'd have the same exact reaction that we would.
Yes, I think you're totally right. Neil Breen looks like modern technology, how a 1400s peasant would, but we look at Neil Breen's visionary work as a 1400s peasant would. He's just way ahead of his time, and we can't understand it. It's magic to us.
So I guess that kind of brings us to what I want to discuss afterwards. In regards to a comment we received on our video.
Oh yes, one of many.
I actually have to bring this up because I don't remember what it says exactly.
Okay.
Here, give me a sec. Essentially, it's someone who doesn't believe that Neil Breen is really capable of, not capable, I guess, but they don't believe that Neil Breen is capable of creating these theories. Like, he didn't actually plan anything in advance of creating the plot. Like, he just did it laissez-faire, like, let it be as it may, like, let people watch this as they interpret their own theories. I think he had an actual specific vision in his mind.
Yeah.
Like, he had something specific he wanted to create, and it was very, very specific, and it's, like we've been saying, it's far beyond like what we are capable of producing in our own minds. Like we're basically drooling and writhing in our seats as we watch this. Like
it's basically like you turn on Shrek 2 in the gorilla exhibit, and they're trying to like piece it together.
They're trying to analyze what's going on.
Yeah, it's like, good luck. It's not gonna happen.
Essentially, it's comparable to people watching reality TV and saying like, oh, this is fake, right? Like, even in specific examples, like, I don't think reality TV is really real in any regard, but like there are probably some real moments that are filmed, but there are always those skeptics who believe that nothing they see is true or real, or like nothing has been non-scripted. But I think Neil Breen has genuinely a vision in his mind, and he produced it through film. Maybe not exactly how we intended it to be, but I think there are theories that he had in mind when he created Fateful Findings, for that example, and Double Down for this. I don't think we hit them on the head with the hammer to say, but I think he's gonna be a force to be reckoned with.
I think so
in the future.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see his latest movie.
Yeah, Pass Through, out in select theaters currently.
Yes, select 2 theaters across the country.
Actually, it's been aired in California. I think it was in Oregon, and it was in Chicago recently.
That amazes me. I mean, good for him, definitely.
Yeah, good for him. But like 3 theaters, I can't even imagine how much it costs to film and produce that.
God. I mean, it's all digital, so I mean.
Yeah, but like he had to bring in actors. He had to bring in.
Yeah.
Like he had to film it himself. I assume maybe he hired a filmer, which just costs you more.
I guess it costs money to distribute it, regardless if it's digital or not.
Yeah, I mean, I assume the theaters he's aired it at are just like indie theaters that'll bring in anything and just want the profits from people.
Yeah.
Like they'll just charge people exogenous prices to come see a Neil Breen movie of all things.
We have Pass Through, and then we have ABCs of Death 3.
Essentially.
Yeah. God, he should be like a director for one of the ABCs of Death.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he was asked for the next one.
I mean, they'd be fools to pass
how
him
bad
up.
the first one was.
They'd be fools to pass him up.
They really would. I mean, just pretty much like copy and paste, double down into it, and you have like Insanity.
Yeah, the best of.
That was one of them. I for Insanity.
N for Neil.
N for Neil.
T for Tuna.
M for Mercury.
R for rock.
God. Okay. So you want to discuss the similarities of Fateful Findings and Double Down?
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of material already. I mean, obviously, like, stuff's gonna be edited out. But
Sure.
well, I mean, why this is gonna be like raw? We're into this whole thing.
No, I mean, like, there aren't that many, are there?
No, there really aren't. I have to say, like, this is a really quick thing. I mean,
Yeah.
like the Rock, obviously, the supernatural, the ghosts,
Yeah.
the 8-year-old girlfriend. Or actually, the girlfriend he meets when he's 8 years old, and
Yeah.
is with his whole life. Being very successful, being very intelligent, competent.
Master computer hacker.
Master computer hacker. Yeah, that's
Master in computer. What is it? Science.
computer science. Yeah. Yeah, always like the top of his class.
Yeah.
The military background, that's different. That's not in Fateful Findings, I don't believe.
No. There's a bull skull, I believe it is, in the desert that like watches them as they pass by multiple times.
Yeah, that's definitely that occurs a few in each one.
It's something I don't understand, but I assume there's some value to it.
Yeah, I think there's obviously. I think Bill Breen has he knows what he's doing when he does that. Like he has something in mind.
He has something in mind, but it's not obvious at all to the viewer.
No, it's like he probably had that like in his basement or something, and then like his grandpa gave it to him,
God.
and like his grandpa's
It's a
like
family heirloom.
yeah, and like he's like yep.
Actually, just his grandpa's skull.
He's like, little Neil, this will watch over you all your life. Take care of it. I don't know, but the hatred for white collar crime or criminals.
Yeah, the weird sense of justice he has, and the fact that he thinks he is the one to bring the world to justice in some regard.
Yeah, but also we should mention too. That the white collar crime elements Double Down.
Yeah,
It's briefly mentioned. It's like 2 sentences almost. Like it's definitely not. It's not the focus, and you don't really see it occur. He just like it's like I know there's corruption and all this shit in the government and corporations.
Okay.
So, do you remember that at all?
Is that all?
In Double Down, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember anything else about.
He says something about white collar crime, and that's all I really recall. Like I think there's a brief few images of him like in a corporate office like shooting people, maybe.
Yeah, like pulls the Dilbert.
Yeah, pretty much Dilbert 3.
Yeah. Yeah, but like whereas Fateful Findings, that's like one of the major plot lines. Or a red herring of the major plot line. As we discussed.
Yeah. Check out our Fateful Findings fan theory episode if you have not seen it.
Check it out.
It's a lot better than this one, I assume.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta edit this up. We gotta make it tight.
I actually don't know if there's much to edit out.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, like, I'll have
Like, this is gonna be a long episode. Surprisingly, like I thought this would be 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know. But I don't know. I think some parts we gotta like edit just for like.
Yeah.
This part, obviously, is gonna keep. We're gonna like keep it in here because I mean.
Yeah, I mean,
this is gold.
It's pretty succinct.
Yeah. This part we have to keep in.
I mean, because we're kind of explaining our intentions, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, this part we have to keep in.
I mean, this part, yeah. Should keep this part in.
Other similarities. I think I had like one more, but it's kind of lost on me. I mean, who cares a shit anyway? Well, actually, no. This is something that just came to me. Is kind of like the contradiction in what he wants to be and what he sees himself as. I guess.
What do you mean?
Like in Double Down, he sees himself as someone who cares about people, I guess, or like wouldn't harm people unnecessarily, or even innocent people.
Okay.
And again, he's similarly like that in Fateful Findings, but in Double Down, it's more about like protecting innocent people from like terroristic crimes, if that's even a word. But really, at the drop of a hat, he would do it. Like, and he does do it.
Realistically, yeah.
And he does do it. I mean, yeah. Because I mean, like,
I don't think there's that much of a difference. I think it's not too far fetched to say that he's on the same kind of.
But he does do it. He does do it, but he doesn't see himself as doing it.
The thing is, in Fateful Findings, he's not a terrorist.
I know, but like, here's the thing: in Fateful Findings, he sees himself as a loyal husband,
Yeah,
and he's not.
he's clearly not.
He's clearly not.
Actually, doesn't give a shit about his wife.
No. So like, and neither of those two things are addressed. It's like the kind of like that conflict that he's not even aware of, but it's like a really big conflict that I don't know. It should have been addressed or at least brought up. Like,
I wonder if he even came to realize that was a conflict in Fateful Findings.
I don't know. I mean, if he didn't, like, that adds more to his craziness.
He just has some bizarre social awareness or lack thereof.
I think he realized it's like, yeah, like a bad thing, like pretty much socially frowned upon. But he wanted the plot to keep moving, where like he wanted to get rid of the weird accented wife and get his new wife in.
Like bizarre personal conflict with her, like where she wanted more money or something. Like the filming was going on too long, and he just wanted to replace her with the lower budget actor.
Well, she didn't want more money; she wanted to actually be paid. It's like
she wanted to wear a bra, and he said, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
Neil Breen, if you're listening to this, I love you.
You're a great guy.
Send me a copy of Pastor. You know.
Oh my god, that'd be great. I would love to talk about that.
I would actually love to talk about Pastor.
Yeah.
I would actually put Pass-Through on my phone and just watch it nonstop if I had access to it.
I'd set it as my background to my phone.
Actually, just set it as my screensaver on my computer. Audio and all.
Yeah. I would actually turn my TV around to face my window and just have Pass-Through playing nonstop to the world.
Just play to your neighbors.
Yeah.
Do you think an audience to gather for that or no?
It's a college town, so I think there'll be some people.
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be an inevitable sex scene, so probably eventually.
God, I'd probably get the cops called on me. Be a registered sex offender from Neil Breen. Neil Breen's Pass-Through. Pass-Through and watch Pass-Through. Right on my porch.
He hires an actress with excessively long nipples that just way too long, and they just like poke through her shirt.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Beautiful.
Yes.
Wonderful.
All right, what else do we have? Is that it?
That's it. I'm so done.
Yeah.
I was done like an hour ago.
Yeah, me too.
Holy Christ.
God.
Holy shit.
All right. Well, yeah. Oh, I got possessed by a demon. I'm sorry.
It happens to the best of us, Andy. All right. Well, I mean, I got nothing left to say.
Bow, 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 bow.
Is that our outro? I don't even remember.
I can't remember. I'm
probably gonna
tone deaf anyway.
Oh god, I feel like I have to cut stuff out now.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I've been thinking that the whole time.
God, I feel like a lot of it's pretty decent, but anyways. Oh, that'll be it for our podcast. Matt and Andy, number 2.
Tune in next week.
God, next week? Are you kidding?
We'll do Here I Am. Sorry.
3 weeks? 3 weeks from now, we'll be reviewing. Holy shit.
We'll be reviewing Here I Am Now in December 2016. You stick around. It's going to be quite a show.
It would actually take me like 2 years to get through that movie, I think.
God, yeah. 2 years to watch it, then 2 years to like write a coherent. Like, I don't know. Okay.
Okay.
End it.
Anyways, that'll be it for Matt and Andy episode number 2. Stay tuned for episode number 3. Subscribe for notifications on number 3 coming out anytime these days. Thanks for listening, guys. This is Matt.
And this is Andy.
Yeah. Okay. Holy shit.
Oh shit.
All right. What?
I just realized I had my laptop mic on the whole time.
God.
No, I'm joking. Yeah.
I know, but holy shit. All right. Thanks for listening. See you guys.
See ya.